All right, let's get started. It is, gosh, another great day at Ctfo. I got to tell you, it has been an absolutely crazy day for me. I'm just going to let you in on what's been happening in my day. Got up at 4 a.m., did emails for a few hours. I got my whole schedule right here. Had to prep for a bunch of meetings today. So much going on. Had an opportunity to speak with some of our leaders out in Spain who are absolutely fired up. Got to speak with each one of our CEO Council members today. That was an absolute joy, just touching base with them and filling them in on all the exciting things that are going on. Got to spend time with our Ctfo corporate team. What an amazing team we have here. Guys, I know you know that, but I just cannot begin to tell you just every day how blessed I feel to work with this team that we have here on the corporate side. And then obviously being able to interact with Stu, Steve, Michael. It's just been an absolutely crazy day. And I share that with you why? I share that with you because we have so much going on right now, so many things that we have planned that literally my day started at 4 a.m. I had basically a 20-minute break for lunch, and that is it. It is now 14 hours later, and I got to tell you, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go till midnight. I mean, that's what happens, right? When you're fired up and you're passionate and you're excited about what's happening. So tonight, I want to share some of that with you. And I share that with you again because I think it's going to all sort of fit in with what is happening here. So I am going to, if I can, share my screen with you. And we are going to dig in to a presentation that I put together here today. And it really kind of came in an interesting way to me. This thing that we're going to talk about here, the power of perspective. And hey, if you don't know me, by the way, my name is Kevin. I'm the president of Ctfo. Been here for over 3 months now, just having a blast. So much fun working with everyone here. And yeah, sometimes I forget to introduce myself. Hey, again, the power of perspective. This came to me about a week ago. So I was on the phone with somebody, with a prospect who was looking at Ctfo, right? And they were somebody who was newer to the industry, didn't have a lot of experience. They were asking me a bunch of really good questions, right? So a lot of just your basic questions about product and about, a little bit about the compensation plan and, about the company in general, where it's headed. And I really just began to think that I wish that there was a way that I could take what I knew literally like in a chip and implant it right into their brain, right? And this is what I thought. I thought if every interested person knew what I know about Ctfo, they would join, right? I was just thinking as I was talking to this person, if that person knew exactly what I knew and what I know, they would join. Their questions would be over, right? I also thought if every interested person knew what I know about Ctfo, they would be excited, right? They would be fired up. They wouldn't be filled with questions. They'd be filled with excitement, or maybe they'd be filled with questions about how do I get started? How do I get moving? How do I grow faster, right? Those kinds of things. This is the key. If every interested person knew what I know about Ctfo, guess what? I believe they would seize this unparalleled moment. And these are the thoughts that literally were going through my mind during and after this talk. This call that I had. And I wanted to share this with you because I thought to myself, perspective, what I see and what they see. And I thought about how that relates to our business. In this case, again, I was on the phone with this prospect and they were asking questions, trying to get an understanding of sort of what I was seeing here. But, perspective is so important, right? It's so important for us to be able to have a perspective, and that perspective determines how we see certain things. And I looked up the word perspective in the dictionary, right? And this is what it said: a particular attitude toward or way of regarding something. It's simply a point of view, right? So our perspective is a point of view. It's how we see something. Okay, so let me give you sort of an example of this, right? This is a power of perspective. So we look at this picture. We see a young man sitting there with his arm around someone, right? This is a perspective. Let me now give you a different perspective. How does that look now, right? A little different, right? From what we saw earlier. The power of perspective changes everything. And I believe that when we look at the power of perspective in relation to Ctfo, And in relation to how you are seeing CTFO, what is your perspective, right? That's what I really want to dig in here with you on. The power of your perspective. How do you see CTFO? How do you see your CTFO business? So we've got some things to think about, right? Do you see it as a free business? Maybe. Do you see it as a business worth $500? Let's say you purchased a platinum pack, right? Or do you see it this way? Do you consider it a 5 or 6-figure yearly income opportunity? Which one do you see? Because what you see is going to have a powerful impact on the urgency with which you take action in CTFO, right? The way you see it. So my question to you this evening is, what is your perspective? What do you see? What do you see? Because here's a key point that I want to share with you. And this is one you want to write down. I hope you all have notepads. I'm a big note taker. I never leave my fortune to my memory. I've heard that said before, right? I never leave my education and things that I can share to my memory. So what we share here tonight, you can share with your group, with your team, right? So I asked this question, what is your perspective? And again, here's your key point. The way you see your CTFO business is the way others will see it. If you take nothing else out of tonight other than that, then I'm happy. Because that is so true. And it shows the power of your perspective. Here's another key point. The value that you place on your CTFO business, guess what? That's the value that others are going to place on it. Okay, so the perspective that we bring influences, again, I believe, our posture in our business. It influences how others perceive us when we're talking to them about CTFO. It influences our energy, right? I mean, I hope you can tell I'm excited about today. I'm excited about tomorrow. I'm excited about next week, next month, next year, right? And that comes through with just a genuine enthusiasm that I have. And in fact, on my screen here, I have a little note that says, don't get too excited, because I literally sometimes have to do what? I have to actually be aware of not getting overly excited, because that's how I feel about CTFO. That's my perspective, okay? So what I want to do tonight is, again, talk about the power of perspective. We got our left brain and our right brain thinking. Our brain kind of does different things, right? The left side is a bit more of our logic, a little bit more of our analytical side, our rational side, and our right side, maybe our fun side, right? Our creativity side, our intuition, our emotional side, right? And tonight we're going to just focus a little bit on the left brain. We're going to dig in on the left brain for a little bit. I have an economics major, so I'm one of these people who, I love math, I love logic, I love analytical stuff, but I'm also a musician. So I've got a the right side of my brain that loves all that other stuff too, right? And what I want to dig into, though, is this left brain part, because I think when we look at this is when I go, wow, if people knew what I knew about CTFO, what I know about this company, they would join. So let's get some perspective with some left brain thinking. How many of you have eaten at a Subway restaurant anytime over the past, I don't know, whatever, past year, right? Subway at one point was the #1 franchise in America. Not anymore, but it's in the top 10. And Subway is a very obviously wildly successful franchise. And the reason why I selected it is because I'm from Connecticut, and Subway actually came out of Bridgeport, Connecticut, literally 5 miles from where we used to live. And what I wanted to do was to get a perspective on Subway. So I began to dig in, one of my favorite terms, dig it in. Subway's a top 10 franchise. And I began to look at what are the startup plans and costs associated with starting a Subway franchise, right? I wanted to kind of understand what that would look like. So what I did is I went out and I did some investigating, the left brain thinking of me, right? Really trying to get analytical here. Here's what I found out. Minimum net worth to open up a Subway franchise, $300,000, of which $60,000 has to be liquid. Franchise fee, $15,000. Additionally, all of these other things that you have to do before do you start a Subway business? I mean, look at this: legal and accounting setup costs, not fun stuff, right? Determine location and building, lease down payments, improvements, utility costs, store equipment, all this stuff you have to do. And you haven't even sold a single sandwich yet, right? So all of this stuff that you have to do. And guess what? Your total average investment on average for Subway is about, excuse me, $189,000. So I dug in a little more deeply and I said, okay, well, what does this mean? Okay, it's $189,000, but how much does a typical Subway earn, right? Because it's not just what we spend, it's also what we earn that we have to take into consideration, sort of our return on our investment, maybe of money and investment of time, right? We have to sort of analyze it. This is the left brain side of me going. So the average Subway franchise, $422,000 of average revenue, annual revenue. Now, here's the interesting thing is that you have to pay Subway a royalty and marketing fee of 12.5% of your annual revenue, $52,750. Your food costs, right? Your food costs, what you're serving to your customers, 28% of your annual revenue, approximately $118,600. These are all expenses related to doing what? The annual revenue. Then we have the average rent for 12 months, around $54,000. Average utilities, insurance for 12 months, nearly $18,000. You know, your other stuff, your garbage, your telephone, your accounting, miscellaneous, all that stuff that adds up about $6,000. Then you have to have employees, right? Because you can't do it all yourself. So you got to hire some employees. So not only do you have employee expense, but you've got, you know, obviously employee, just sometimes an employee may not show up. So guess what? You own that franchise. You're showing up on top of all the other time that you put in. But that's going to run about $72,000 all in, employee salary plus other costs associated with your employees. Now, in this case, we use an example in New York. So that your sales tax on that $422,000, that's almost $36,000 of sales tax that was part of that revenue. So you pull that out, right? Here we go, left side of the brain, but I'm getting to a point. 2 weeks of training also, 2 weeks of training that you got to just go and you have to fly out to the headquarters and get 2 weeks of training. Here's the key: net profit before tax on average, and some were considerably lower than this, some a little higher, but on average, net profit, $63,980. So you got your $422,000 after everything was taken out, $63,980. So my brain starts going, okay, how do we now juxtapose this with Ctfo? How do we compare this to what we do here at Ctfo? Again, left brain is rational. Left brain looks for facts and then compares those facts to other facts and begins to make rational, logical conclusions, right? This is what I'm doing. Subway, we take all of those expenses. Now, let's take a look at what happens in Ctfo, because I'm sharing with you a perspective on our business. And a perspective is based on determining, I believe, taking a point of view, comparing it to maybe another point of view, and that could change our perspective. So point of view A is Subway, point of view B, Ctfo. Look at this. I just did, again, if everybody who is interested knew what we know about Ctfo, they would join. People were paying $53,000 to Subway. Guess what? Ctfo pays you, right? We pay you. You're not paying us. We pay you. And we're giving you all the products, all the marketing, all the websites, all the stuff, right? In fact, I believe a lot more than Subway's giving you. Subway's a fine company, but we're just comparing. We're getting perspective here. We pay you. You're not paying us. You get a Subway franchise. Guess what? Take 12% of your income and of your sales, and you're doing what? You're paying it out to. Oh, what happened here? All right, there we go. You're paying it out to Subway. All right, food costs, $118,600 in Subway. Guess what? You know what your costs are? About $600, right? $45, $50 a month. And that's an investment into your wellness. I think that's so important to understand is that the money that you're spending on your product each and every month, guess what? It's doing what? It's an investment into your wellness. What's the average rent for Ctfo? Well, in Subway, it's $54,000. In CTFO, zero, right? Zero extra, right? You're working out of I'm working out of my home office right here at the time. You're working out of your home office. No extra. In fact, you get to take a home office deduction. Not only are you not paying rent, you could actually use that home office deduction against any income. How cool is that, right? So again, perspective. Utilities, guess what? You're not paying any extra utilities and insurance if you're part of CTFO, right? Well, you got some miscellaneous expenses here. Let's say you have Verb, our awesome premium marketing system, right? It's about $20 a month. That's a cost. So we're kind of just digging in here. Employees, what's your employee expense? Well, it's not $72,000. It's zero, right? It's zero. Perspective. When we compare, it gives us a way to maybe change our perspective. How about this? Quality of life. Wow, this is a huge one, right? If you open up a Subway, man, you're at it 70 hours a week. You are at it 70 hours a week. You are all in, and it's not all in at your home office. It's all in at the sub shop, right? What's the quality of life here? Well, you know what? You can build your business 10, 15 hours a week. Start there. You do it when you want. You can still earn income for what you currently do. And that's the beautiful thing. You buy a Subway franchise, plus you get to spend a lot on employee costs. You can't continue to do what you're doing for current income right now. You can't build Subway part-time, can you? Can you build CTFO part-time? Heck yeah. Heck yeah, you can, in a big way, right? You can put in those 10, 15 hours a week and continue doing what you're doing. And here's the other key. You're not worried about showing up to the Subway store every day. You can build your CTFO business from home. You can build it from vacation. You can build it from anywhere you want, as long as you have a computer and as long as you have a Wi-Fi connection. How awesome is that, right? The power of perspective. Never let the extraordinary become ordinary. CTFO is extraordinary. Total startup cost, let's say $500. You get a platinum pack, get the biggest discount, and you can get product and you can get samples. Again, samples are deductible as well. And income, well, you know what income? We don't know, right? Could be nothing. Subway, it could be nothing. It could be a failed business and it costs you $190,000 to get started. CTFO, you could come in and just become a product user and not make any money, or you can make significant income, right? So that I kind of left as a question mark. But here's what's great, is that if you get a Subway, if you buy a franchise, you're basically limited. There's only a certain amount of revenue a Subway is going to do. It's unlimited here, right? It's limited only by, again, the size of your organization, the size of your effort on a consistent basis over time, and so on, right? So it's unlimited, which is a wonderful thing. Now, here's the key to me, and this is where I really want to help with perspective. Subway, 3 years just to break even. Think about that. 3 years of maybe 70-hour weeks of dealing with, again, showing up at the store, employees show up, maybe they don't sometime, who knows, right? 3 years to break even. And this is not just Subway, a lot of franchises around here, right? A lot of franchises have that kind of a break-even scenario measured in years. How do we measure CTFO's break-even? Unlimited income potential, right? Not 63,000, could be significantly higher, could be lower, as we know, right? But this is the key. Break even. Break even to me is, how do we maximize gain and minimize risk? You maximize gain by unlimited income potential. You minimize risk by knowing what a downside is, right? You got $190,000 downside in the Subway franchise. You know what that means? That means that you're not going to quit. If you invest $189,000 today, you are in your Subway business until that either succeeds or it does not. CTFO, a little different, right? Doesn't cost you anything to get started, unless you're going to buy some products. But you can literally, you buy that platinum pack, you can break even in a few days, a few weeks, maybe a few months, whatever path you want to take on that, right? But it's not a 3 years. And what's your downside? Really, there isn't, right? You got a 60-day money-back guarantee on your product. And let's say you keep the product and you use it all and you feel better. That's a great upside, isn't it? So this is the power of perspective. when we look at this, and again, I'm just using Subway as an example. The Subway is not unique to this kind of a scenario again, right? But look at what we have here at Ctfo. But it goes even deeper than that, right? So as I look at this, the power of perspective, Subway versus Ctfo, right? Again, this is just the way I see it, my perspective. And I believe it's right to the point. Subway, they're serving lunch. Ctfo, we're changing lives. Think about that. Think about that for a second. So not only did I go through all that left brain thinking of why it's a 3-year break even versus a few days, few weeks, few months with Ctfo, but now let's go over to our right brain for a second. Subway serving lunch. Ctfo is changing lives. Again, there's something that I believe is so powerful and so just magical about what we do. Again, I'm going to come back to this. If every person knew what I know about Ctfo, they would join. If every person knew what I know about Ctfo, they would be excited. And if every person knew what I know about Ctfo and what you know about Ctfo, they would seize this unparalleled moment. The power of, we just went through perspective a moment ago. Let me give you another one. So real quickly, I have been in the area of business coaching, right? And for a number of years. And I have also sought out some of the best business coaches, I believe, in the world, for me personally and from a business perspective. Here's what I know. If you're going to go out there and you're going to find a business coach, a success coach, and you want somebody who's just top notch, top 1%, you're going to be paying $1,000. I've seen some $50,000 or more per hour, right? Because of just what they can bring, the value that they can bring. Just think about that for a second. Again, this is another perspective moment, right? Now, the other thing is if you have a personal coach or a business coach who wants to, you bring in a Subway business coach to help you really, succeed above and beyond what the company teaches you. They're probably not connected to the business, right? They know Subway, but they're not going to be in your business helping you, right? They're not going to be in your business helping you. And basically, bottom line is when you're with a coach and they give you that coaching up, right? Then it's kind of like good luck, right? Go ahead, take this now, good luck, and implement. Let's now take that and let's now change our perspective. Again, let's view this a little differently. Okay, so I want you to think about your top 1% Ctfo success business coach. Who is that? Guys, that's your upline. I want you to think about what I just said. Your upline, your leadership in your upline is the top 1%. They are the top 1% of what they do. And you have their leadership. You have their guidance. Power of perspective. No $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 per hour. It's free. It's free. Because that's the way we do it here at Ctfo, right? We're here to serve. We're here to serve and to help other people get to where they want to be. Here's the other thing. Your upline is totally connected to your business. Totally connected, right? Because here's what we know. They don't just say good, they don't, give you some coaching and say good luck. They succeed only when you succeed. I want you to think about that for a second, because this is another way of looking at the concept of the support that you get here at Ctfo. You get top 1% coaching, and you get top 1% from coaches, your upline, right? Who succeed only when you do. I don't know how it gets any better than that, right? It's unbelievable. And here's the other thing that you have here. Ctfo, here's what I'm learning every day. I knew this coming in, but my gosh, I'm living it now, right? Our owners are unlike any owners I've ever met. They are not only here committed, right? But they're in there with you. These are your success coaches too. And that's such an unusual thing for owners to be that deeply committed that deeply committed to the results of the associates. And that's what you have here with Stuart, Steve, and Michael. It's incredible. So again, I never want the extraordinary to become ordinary. And the perspective is that I've never seen a company that from the top on down offers as much support as Ctfo. Your top 1% are there to help you succeed. That's your upline. That's your owners here. Steve, Stu, Michael, incredible. All right. And then you take all of that, right? And you just think about that. You think about the Subway versus Ctfo. You think about the business coach at those incredible dollar per hour costs and the value that your upline brings and the skill set, the top 1% skill set that they bring. It's remarkable. And then when you add this in, the fact that we're changing lives, right? With all of our incredible products right here, right? We see our products. So, again, we're not just serving lunch, right? We are changing lives. And I will tell you that there is an intrinsic inspiration that comes from that, right? An inspiration that what you're doing matters. But here's the key. Not just matters to you, but matters to the person that you are sharing the gift with. It's amazing. And that's what we do. We share a gift. I believe that. We share a blessing. That's what we do here at Ctfo. We do it through our products. We do it through our compensation plan, right? Incredible compensation plan. Achievable. Lucrative. Highest industry payout I've ever seen. For those of you who don't know me, I've been in the industry for 25 years. And I've seen many a comp plan, I've seen many a company, and I've seen many a payout. And I can tell you, I haven't seen one like Ctfo's. And that's because Stuart, Steve, and Michael do it out of their heart. They're here to serve. They're here to spread prosperity. They're here to spread abundance. They're here to provide that opportunity. That is a perspective changing opportunity, right? Of wow, look at what we have. Look at what we have in our hands. So the power of perspective, Ctfo. What do you see? What do you see? Remember, what you see is what others will see. How you value it is how others will value it. Let me share with you what I see. Let me share you what I see that just, makes me feel so great about being part of this organization with each one of you, What I see is this. I see best-in-class products. Without that, we're nothing, right? Without great products, then it's really hard for us to create our vision, right? To develop our vision. We can't do it. Our mission, our values, it all rests on first and foremost, changing people's lives, giving them the opportunity to take control of their wellness, right? Something that's more important now than ever. And with our products, my gosh, we know we can go out there and share. Know that we're delivering great stuff. 10x pure technology, right? Incredible. So we're best in class. That's what I see. Best in class products that are unique. 10x pure, so unique, so unique. I see the most lucrative and achievable. I mean, it's great if your compensation plan pays out a ton of money, but if nobody can achieve it, then what good is it? This is the most achievable compensation plan I've seen, right? I mean, especially with some of the new things that we just added. So great, fast start bonuses at 1K, 3K, 5K. The ability to get loyalty bonuses of $200, $300 to up to $3,000 a month, and they start at 5K. Never seen that. Those are the kinds of bonuses that typically start at 20K, right? But see, what you see in the comp plan is what's important to Stu, Steve, and Michael. So I see the most lucrative and achievable compensation plan in our industry. I see owners who care deeply, who are principle-centered. That's a big one, principle-centered, and are 1,000% committed to your success. Can't overstate that one. I can tell you, that was the biggest reason I'm here, because I got a chance to spend time and to see what those three gentlemen are about and what this Ctfo team is about, because they have put together a great team here. And that team is here to support you, 110%. Servant-hearted field leadership. Again, we talked about our 1% upline. I'm going to tell you just that everybody who's out there engaged, and helping people build in CTFO, they're doing it from the heart, servant hearted. Like attracts like. There's a reason why we're all here together. I think it's because we all share those common values. We all share that faith. We all share that belief in our mission and our vision and what we're doing here. And that comes through in our servant-hearted field leadership. Again, without that, the other three are good, but you know what? It's not gonna enable us to really do what we all want to do here. And this is why when you add all this up, I just call it the most perfectly timed company in our industry. I think CTFO is that most perfectly timed. I've seen companies out there, they say they've got the best products, the best doctor, the best compensation plan, and good owners. And that's true, right? I mean, there's a lot of good companies in our industry, but here's what I will tell you. There is no company, in my opinion, at this moment that has the timing that CTFO does. That is the variable that cannot be made, right? That's either there or it's not. And the great thing about CTFO is, boy, our best growth is way ahead of us. And therefore, what that means, I believe it's an incredibly bright future for everyone who engages, who understands and gets the power of perspective and sees what they have in their hands, right? Sees what they have in their hands with this company. It's what I call a rare air moment. A rare air moment. Doesn't happen often. Doesn't happen often at all. Thousands of companies that start every year. Few make it past their fifth. Very few have a rare air moment. I believe that's where we're at right now. And my hope tonight is that you're able to see that a little bit better. It may be something that I shared here tonight enabled you to maybe get a slightly different perspective on what you do have in your hands here. And I think most importantly, we just want you to know, wow, we are excited about what we see here at CTFO, and we are excited about where we are headed as a company. So many great things that we're working on, so many great things that we are preparing for as we move into an incredible future. And I just believe, boy, you couldn't have been in CTFO at a better time than you are right now. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule tonight to be part of this. And again, what do you see? Really dig in on that. And I believe when you really dig in, you're going to see an amazing rare air moment that's right there for you to seize the opportunity with. Everybody,